Fab is just an institution for people to come down and listen to great music and have a good time.
Well, it's always been revered for its sound systems and its music policy.
I think the ethos hasn't changed from day one. Good underground dance music and a good sound system.
Premier music, premier sound and premier light. We sort of go with what we believe in and try and set our own style rather than going, oh, they're hot at the minute, let's just book them, because I think you lose your identity if you do that.
So the idea was conceived by Keith Riley. All the way through the 90s he was looking for a space in London to be able to fill this idea of freedom and creativity to book what we wanted to. And ultimately in October 1999 the project found itself in this particular location in Smithfield.
Going back to the days when illegal raves and warehouses and stuff like this around London, Fabric wanted to kind of harness what the warehouse and the rave culture had, but bring it into a club and really kind of explore the dynamics of the system, what they could put in to enhance that level of experience for the clubbers. And that's why they're so famous worldwide.
It's about presenting an experience to people that they can't find elsewhere.
I was into dance music from a young age, and I think London embraced it and became one of the clubbing capitals of the world. And that's how people like Fabric and all the other clubs were born. It was a real cultural hub of dance music.
I think crowds would expect to hear new genres of music down here first.
Fabric Live in general has always been UK-based music. It's always supported that scene. So you had drum and bass, you had dubstep, you had breakbeat when it was out, you've had trap go through, we've got grime coming through in a minute, whereas Saturday has always been a staple of house and techno. And that has a bit more of an international scene.
We've in part shaped London's scene, and London's scene in part has shaped us.
Well, I've been here 16 years and we've been upgrading consistently in this room, but it got to a point with the shape of this room and the age of the system we had, it was proving more and more difficult.
Before, all I could say was it was loud, it could be very loud, but it was starting to lose a lot of definition. There was a lot of bottom end, and then there wasn't much else until you got to a lot of high end as well.
It's absolutely pivotal to make sure that the music that you're presenting is on the best possible system that you have available to you.
We decided to look at new systems, basically improve the sound we have and actually create parity with Room 1, if not surpass Room 1, with an up-to-date current sound system.
We tried out a few different companies, yeah, so I had a few systems in here, and Pioneer was definitely the one that worked best for us all.
Did 2 demos on each system, and it was clear after the first demo, but even clearer after the second demo, that Pioneer won every single demo. It basically blew everyone else out of the water.
We use Pioneer products a lot, the DJ Pro audio products. It's a well-known brand, but when any company goes into another field, people are going to be sceptical or dubious, so I think you've got to have an open mind and listen.
Certainly amongst the team of Fabric, some people had no idea that we actually produce speakers to a standard like this. We really kind of turned a few heads with one, the demo, and also the build quality and performance of our boxes. So it was a good start moving forward with Fabric.
I was impressed, and I was also confident that Pioneer was going to be a good path to take.
You could see everybody looking at each other and just nodding as if like, yeah, that's perfect.
The pressure was on, you know, obviously because it's the first time everyone's going to hear the system, and naturally I wanted to make sure that it was the best it could be. We had a 2-hour window, and that was including the setup time. So to fine-tune and set some delays and stuff like that, we had probably 40 minutes. Our boxes are voiced relatively flat, so you're not adding more processing to what was already there. We were kind of subtracting processing and EQ points based on the measurements of the room. So we were kind of able to get a really, really good sound pretty quickly.
Surrounded.
Their brief was very clear that it needs to be something where it's going to make people go, wow, as soon as you walk in that room. The first demo we had, we showed a few different setups with XY series, and Keith Reynolds was able to really kind of home in on what boxes he was really looking for and what sound he was looking for straight away. We installed 2 XY122s at the front of the DJ console, and then 2 on the side behind the DJ. We decided to use 2 single 18 subwoofers, the 2 XY118S, creating a nice little cocoon of sound. Left and right of the stage, we installed 2 152 clusters. You rotate the horn and you get this amazing 120-degree dispersion and a 60-degree vertical dispersion. A little bit further down, you have 4 clusters of 122s in the middle area, And that really kind of offers a full body of the system. And then right at the back, you'll see another cluster of 122s left and right, and that really kind of pushes the back end of the room out.
I still wanted something like a point source club sound system where you got a lot of sound pressure from all around, so the punter can walk in the room and feel the same wherever you stand in the room.
Everything points in on you, rather than a bit like the old system, it was being fired at you.
But also you heard a lot more definition and detail, because instead of 4 compression drivers, which traditionally was in the room, you've got 12 now.
And we came up with a really good idea was to put a truss up. We've hung most of the system off poles, which makes them look like they're floating in the air, which looks really cool.
Right at the front of the room again, we used 4 XY218 subwoofers. In the middle of the floor, there was some more cages. We used 218 subwoofers per side. And right at the back of the room, there was another 2 XY218 subs stacked up in the cage.
We used the PowerSoft range, which is what Pioneer brought down for us. Well, they actually come with an additional software package which you use called Harmonia, which speaks to every amplifier, so then you can now tune the system from a laptop in there. You tell the amplifier what speaker it's speaking to, and then it'll set itself up for that, and then you can fine-tune it from there. My biggest concern was the time we were going to be able to do it in the time we had. The club didn't really want to close, we wanted to keep on operating. We had 5 days to do it, because obviously we were opening again on the Friday. It was a pretty quick turnaround, considering all the work we had to do. We thought about it beforehand. There was no room for mistakes. And the height of the ceiling's a big factor as well, because a lot of sound can go up and trap and come back. I mean, Alex spent a few days tuning and testing for reflections and delays.
If you look up in room 2, there's a rolled ceiling, probably around about 10 to 12 metres from the floor. These really kind of sucked in all the subs. It kind of made this prominent, like 50 hertz tone. We really had to kind of play around with some measurements, and with a few little kind of notches here and there, we were able to get it sounding really tight.
It's powerful, but it has warmth as well. It's got both, and I think that's what works in this room. The power beats the shape of the room, because it's an awkward room.
The first night we opened with the new Pioneer system in, I just walked through there, I heard a guy just say, wow, God, he heard the sound to his friend in this room, you've got to come in this room.
You get that goosebumps of something that's just like, that just hits the right note, if you like, for the kind of music that you're listening to.
The DJs have responded very, very well. Jack Master on the weekend, we asked him privately, honestly, what do you think of the sound system? We want to make it perfect. He goes, it sounds perfect already. Egyptian Lover said it was his best sound system he's played on since 1984. So that's a great compliment. And if DJs like the sound system, they want to play for you. And if the DJs had a good time, 99% of the time, the customers have had a good time.
It's been really easy because they're genuine relationships. It goes beyond just a commercial partnership.
It's not just the club installation. They've selected us as Pioneer Pro Audio as the official sound partner for the club. That means that any external events or any changes in the club itself that we're always going to be involved with, which is great.
Pushing the boundaries a little bit would be where I'd love to see Fabric going, both in terms of lineups and in terms of the infrastructure and systems that they are presented on, and advancing the sort of technologies that certainly Pioneer have at their disposal. You know, that's the future for us.
To be a part of that innovation of the club sound system with Pioneer Pro Audio and Fabric is amazing.
Surrounded by a sea of wonderful products to buy. But this is another century.